Welcome to Mind Myself, and we are interviewing an amazing practitioner today. She is Sherien Hossny. Sherien, we're so glad you're with us today.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here, and thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Let's start off by telling people a little bit about your credentials, what you do, and why you're passionate about it.
Awesome. Well, I'm a holistic nutritionist, a yoga teacher. I also did some energy healing, personal training, and Pilates. And it all started, from a very young age. I had this love for just dancing and movement and just making crazy shapes with the body. Hence, the yoga got me like falling in love straight away. I started practicing back in 2007 and did my first teacher training in 2010, and I didn't stop since then. I continued just it's just like I'm always just finding new things to learn about this beautiful body that we have. I did a lot of energy healing modalities, so I also practice pranic healing, meditation, breath work, and then back in 2012, after a long struggle with bloating, digestive health, and some skin issues, I was I'd say fortunately I was diagnosed with liver disease, and I was at what they call F4, compensated liver, early stage cirrhosis. And so that what led me to the holistic nutrition and to the wellness. I'm North African. We grew up going for different foods with like everything. Oh, if you have a stomach ache, my mom would like give you that tea or that herb, and like, oh, if it's summer, we need to eat this or eat that so I'm kind of, it's ingrained in me. So when this happened with my liver, I turned back to this and I started drawing on from all those things, but it still took me a long time. It took me almost 7 years to go from early stage cirrhosis to now living with a healthy, beautifully functioning liver and being able to enjoy this life with my family. So that became my mission. And I moved to Canada in 2018. I studied with the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition. And this is where I am.
Oh, fantastic. I can't wait to hear more of your story. What a journey you've been on. That's amazing.
Yeah, it hasn't always been right. It's been ups and downs, but it's been beautiful. Some like at the moment you're like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? But then later on you're like, well, this is the path that I was supposed to take, and this is why this happened, to lead me there and to be able to share this and help others feeling safe in their body and knowing they can be there for their families and for their loved ones.
And for themselves.
And for themselves, of course. First and foremost.
Yeah. You have so many tools to draw from. This is really exciting. I'm thrilled. So Sherien, tell us a little bit about your perfect client, the clients you most like to work with.
I love working with people. So I'd say I'd work with everyone, but I really love people who are more proactive and who want to take control of their health, who's like they're like they don't give up. Like there is something that's going on either in your health or your career or whatever it is, that you know that there are things in your hand that you can do. Of course, there are things that we can't control, that's out of our control, but there is like a lot of things that we can do to help ourselves, no matter what the situation is. So I like that's my ideal client. I also love working with marginalized communities and those who may not have access to all the support or have barriers to get the right information, because I believe that should be available for everybody.
Oh, so awesome. And what are your particular, you do a lot. So what are the things that you particularly focus on? If people are coming to you, what are those things that they're going to look for first?
So I've learned like a lot of things and a lot of stuff in different modalities, because that's like what I love. So I mainly, obviously, in terms of movement, I love yoga and Pilates. That's my focus. And I get to draw from that and draw from the meditation when it comes to my nutrition practice. And I look at the body from different things. There is not one thing that would help us be healthiest. So it's not like if you have this food only, you're going to be great, right? There is a lot of things that affect us. And I focus when it comes to nutrition or the body, mainly on the liver health and the gut health. They kind of go hand in hand. You have to, to protect your liver, you have to look at the gut and and the digestive issues, and the other way around. So I look at that, and I look at correcting that first with a lot of different things. And usually that helps, that fix the problem.
Fantastic. Well, I know I probably need to do some exploration around my liver too. So let's have a conversation after this. So Sherien, what does a first session with you look and feel like?
Hopefully it always feels great and comfortable. There would be a lot of questions. I ask a lot of questions. Usually I would send and ask people to fill a 3-day food journal, ideally 2 days during the week and 1 day during the weekend, as we tend to eat differently on the weekends. And I send a questionnaire so that they can basically ask some questions, and we can, if they have time and do that, we would discuss it and dig deep during the initial appointment. If not, then we just go ahead and answer the questions together. But I tend to, ask a lot of questions to examine the person's lifestyles, their symptoms, their pain points, what are their goals, what are they challenging that they faced, what have they tried in the past, what's working, what's not working, so we can then plan, like have a customized plan for them.
I like that. A customized plan. That's so important because we're all unique individuals.
True.
And we have to look at the whole picture. So
of course, yeah.
And on a more personal note, how do your friends and those closest to you describe you?
Oh, I actually, that's an interesting question. And I actually posted this on like my Instagram just to see how, like, what am I going to get back? Yeah. And it was fun. So I had people who worked with me, and interestingly, my husband said, critical thinker, analytical skills. Like I like to analyze things, and a problem solver. I got some from close friends and like family. They said like you have a lot of warmth. And I think for me, the most interesting one was a friend of mine said this word in Arabic that I cannot translate in English. So the word is muhtawiya. And the best and like simplest way I can describe it is like, you know, when you have that like big pot in the kitchen that kind of take all the other smaller pots inside. So that's kind of the translation of muhtawiya, but instead of taking pots, it's basically like an emotional container for like people around me.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, that was, I tried to find a word in English for it, but it's so hard. And I was like, whoa, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I don't know if there is one in English, but I love that. And it implies so much. And you have so many different modalities that you've explored too. And that's a part of the pot: body, mind, spirit, and all these different healthcare approaches.
Yeah.
You got it all.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what do you do in your life to stay healthy?
I have to first acknowledge that staying healthy and the things that I can, like I was doing before the baby is kind of different with a baby and a toddler. So just like, hello to all the moms and busy women out there. I know, I feel you. It's hard. It's not easy at all. But I try to cook most of our meals at home, and I have like a very simple rule. It's like, as much as possible, if it's like packaged, then we don't need it. Like staying away from those like packaged and processed food. And with like, I find that in Vancouver, I find a lot of like the prepared like meals that they send you the ingredients and you can cook at home. That kind of helps when you're short on time. I practice a lot of like gratitude. And one of the beautiful things I find in yoga is that like, I don't need to be going like doing 2 hours every day. That like in days when it's like really hard, I can even do 5 or 10 sun salutations, do a 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So getting rid of that, like all or nothing mindset that like, oh, if I'm not making it to the gym, then what's the point? If I'm not doing my HIIT class and Pilates and those things, then I'm missing out. It's just doing like small things as much as we can every day that fits into our schedule. And I find in my practice of like my religious practice, I find a lot of peace in my my daily like 5 prayers, and I think all the religious practices and spiritual practices have this. It's kind of having that connection. It's like the oldest form of mindfulness and meditation.
Mm. Yes, you sound like an extremely well-rounded person. I love that. And I think that's what it takes to be healthy, to have pieces from all of the different areas of our body, mind, and spirit.
Yeah, for sure. Every like each one of those is important, and you can't like be doing only one and this is what's going to fix everything. Right. When I was going through my journey, and as much as nutrition helped me, I found that the connection with God, spirituality, meditation, and I did some energy healing that I tried a lot of them. A lot didn't work, but there was 2 that kind of like helped me and stuck with me, and that definitely helped. And from another point, when it comes to liver is the seat of anger spiritually. Sometimes it's what you hold against, like with yourself. So I did a lot of also like forgiveness. I think we can be hard on ourselves. So
such wisdom. So Sherien, when you're doing your practice, what are some of the things that you offer people? I know you've talked about yoga classes, but tell us a little bit about what you offer. And I know that people can check further down in your profile and see some of those listings, but maybe you could describe some.
So different offerings, or how I do the offering?
The different offerings.
So I offer, there is of course the yoga classes. I have scheduled 3 classes a week. I also offer online classes for those who can't access the in-person one. There is I offer a weekly yin class online on Zoom. Thanks COVID. And I offer the nutritional consultation. I offer one-on-one. I also offer personalized packages, so people can get a 3 months package, a 6 months package, where I work directly one-on-one with them for their health, to achieve their health goals. And I offer an online group program that's called the Liver Revive Method, where people can access different things and the whole program online, but they also have access to me personally every week, and like 5 days a week to get like support and guide them step by step to regenerate and help them in their journey to heal.
Excellent. And I know that you have a podcast about liver health. So if somebody wants to know a little bit more about that, they can go and look at that podcast first and go, oh, I think I know who I want to work with next.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. It's going to be interesting.
Yes. So tell us something that you're most grateful for in your life right now.
Just one thing?
Oh, you can say no if you want.
So I practice gratitude every day, and I think this has been extremely helpful for me, and it's helpful for everybody. And the one thing that I'm mostly grateful for is my family. Having them, I have my mom visiting me right now after a very long time, and after we've been disconnected because of the pandemic for a long time. So that's amazing to be able to have my family close to me and have this connection and this and being able to be with them and be myself. I'm grateful that I've reached this point, being myself and being independent. I love that.
Such good things to be grateful for. Wonderful. And as we wrap this conversation up, Sherien, what's one thing you'd like to leave your listener with today?
So I'd leave them maybe with a quote. It's a very common one that a lot of people know it. heard it a million times and we see it, and sometimes we say it, but I think not everyone embody it and really like practice it. And that is, if there is a will, there is a way.
And that is your last word. When there is a will, there is a way.
Yeah.
And we do all of this because you matter.
Thank you.
Thank you.